Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Bhagavad Gita Satsang. For today's Satsang, let's begin reading the verse from the Gita, from the book The Essence of the Bhagavad Gita, explained by Paramhansa Yogananda, as remembered by his disciple Swami Kriyananda. For today, I have chosen the verse from the chapter 7, verse 20 from the Gita. Let's close our eyes and listen. Those, however, who prefer to follow their own will, rejecting the path of inward communion with God, whose discrimination has been vitiated by this craving or by that, and who perhaps feel inclined toward cultish teachings, seek lesser gods. I will also read the first line of this interpretation by Swamiji, where he says, Krishna utters a warning here to beware of ego-motivated self-will. Furthermore, Swami Kriyananda goes on to explain what is ego-motivated self-will with some examples. And he mentions it in the beginning itself, that is Krishna's warning for us. And what is that? We will find that out as we study this verse together. There are couple of important points from this verse that I would like to highlight. One of them being self-will, ego-motivated self-will. Another being discrimination. And third one, seeking lesser gods. Before we get into each one of them and understand how they are relevant for us as devotees, I would like to read a short excerpt of Master, which will bring further clarity to this verse, which has these three components of self-will and discrimination. First, that we will cover. I will read it. Okay, again you can close your eyes and listen to these words of Master Paramahansa Yogananda ji. As long as your acts are dictated by instincts and habits, influences of heredity, family, social and worldly environments, you are not free. You are free only when you can act spontaneously through intuitive discrimination. When your will is perfectly free to choose through wisdom, that is freedom. To tune in with a soul whose will is guided by wisdom is to find freedom of will. So here, Master mentions about intuitive discrimination. Intuitive meaning foreseeing what is right, what will be right, what will be wrong, seeing that in future. That is intuitive discrimination. And he also relates free will and discrimination together. If there is a free will, there will be discrimination. That interrelation we will see at the end of this discussion, how that is relevant to us for this topic. But for now, though as devotees, using our free will, we have found this path, we have found a self-realized guru. Using the power of discrimination, we meditate, we attend satsangs, we do some seva, and all that is being given to us. We are doing our best. But are we still safe? And even we receive good karma through our guru to continue this journey of freedom. But are we still safe? Even though all of these things are given to us and we are trying our best through these spiritual efforts, Master has mentioned that even attaining Nirvikalpa Samadhi, one can fall back into delusion. That is the strong pull of Maya, and we are certainly not there yet. So we are definitely not safe here. Isn't it so? And here I would like to bring a real story of a devotee in Ananda, which was recently shared by Nayaswami Dhyanaji of her friend. So this friend of Dhyanaji, who was very close with her, suddenly started following, meaning she was also on the path of Kriya Yoga, following the teachings of Master and accepting him as her guru. Suddenly starts following another person, another path, and invites Dhyanaji that, this man is great, you must see and come, all of that. Dhyanaji sees that something is off and she is drifting apart from the path, from the guru. And as she's also closely connected with Swami Kriyananda, Dhyanaji tells Swamiji also, she is drifting apart. She is going away from the path, following some another man who I don't think is a self-realized guru claiming to be. And I'm seeing that. Should I help her? Should I get her back? And Swami Kriyananda's answer to her is, no, don't. Don't go with her. Don't try to bring her back. Here, what is trying to happen if we see as devotees, once we have found our path, sticking to the sadhana, being loyal to the guru, and acting through the will of God than self or ego motivated will, even in little actions of the day, like what set of clothes should I wear today, God? To even the decision that Dhyanaji's friend took, and later on her friend left her home, her husband, her daughter, and shifted to that new person's teachings and path, the place. And later, as Dhyanaji was trying to keep up with updates with her, she got to know that she was admitted into a hospital to treat some mental illness. Can we imagine how long will it take her again to come back where she was? Maybe lifetimes, we don't know. But here what we are trying to see, how the ego-motivated will is snatching away the discrimination, what is right and what is wrong here. And I would like to read the further interpretation that Swamiji has brought in to give further clarity on this story also. Now that we have heard this story, let's try and tune into this interpretation of this verse. Once discrimination, what is right, what is wrong, I'm just adding this Y word, but I will continue. Once discrimination can be snatched away in a moment by some sudden infatuation. The key to intelligent behavior in such situations is to watch heart's feelings. We have to be watchful. What do we feel emotionally? When such things are happening, suddenly we are feeling drifting apart and getting infatuated, interested, or attracted to someone. We have to watch the heart's feeling. That's what Swamiji is saying here. And further, at the end, Swamiji ends with a similar kind of a example and says that it is the disease of ignorance. And how? Let me read and continue that, the end of part of this interpretation. People, finally, who allow their feelings to become uplifted emotionally are often susceptible to sensation mongering. They may pass from one cultish fancy to another, attending seances, going to miracle workers, flocking eagerly to listen to every new lecturer who arrives in the town. All these activities are symptomatic of the disease of ignorance. The desire for outward stimulation rather than for inward inspiration. So, as we read this interpretation, we will try to relate it with the story that we just heard, that how her discrimination was snatched away in no time. When she started following another person, even though having found a guru, a path, a stability in her spiritual efforts, her discrimination was gone. What was that got her into the heart's feeling? Wasn't it that she got drifted apart emotionally? Oh, I want to follow this another person. That's what heart's feeling take us everywhere. That's a human emotion though, but it's taking us away from what is we are here for and what we have actually. And to conclude this last few minutes, once we have found our path, sticking to the sadhana, that is our lesson from this story and the reading. Sticking to the path, doing our sadhana, being loyal to the Guru, and doing God's will, as Master said in the reading that we did before, that the will, the action, which is not influenced by our habits, by our family, by our social and worldly environment. Actions that are not influenced by these, that's what Master said, but motivated through the wisdom that when we tune into the soul, that is the free will. And action which is done through the free will give us the discrimination also. The power of discrimination will come, what is right and what is wrong. So let our actions be motivated through the wisdom of tuning into the soul. Let our actions be motivated through the intuitive discrimination that Master talked about, that comes through meditation. And when we feel or realize this power, the power of discrimination, the power of free will within us, and when we feel the power of our Guru, we feel safe. Isn't it? That we feel safe within, we will be untouched. And that's where our journey begins, but the journey doesn't end there. This is not a one-time task. We have to keep repeating this every time our discrimination is at stake. We have to be watchful where this action is coming from. Whether it is being motivated by the ego, by our personal tendencies, our habits, our environment, our family heredity, or whether it is coming from the direct perception of the wisdom that we perceive through meditation by connecting with the soul, not the human that we always lead this life from. And that's where Krishna's warning for us that the self-will here, we have to be watchful. This is a caution that we have to take as devotees. We go on the path towards freedom. There are going to be times where this self-will will be at stake, where we will be in a dilemma. What is right here? What is wrong here? And that's why he's given us this warning that be watchful what's happening here. And the example also covered the story that some cultish teachings or lesser gods, those who are not of men of God realization, to what extent we can go to them? We can't. Once we have found a self-realized, God-realized guru, our journey stabilizes there. The next part of the journey begins. So, with that, let's take a moment of silence and see for ourselves, closing our eyes, these cautions that Krishna has brought to us through this verse of self-will, discrimination, and trying to seek lesser gods. And see that we are safe with Master because of his blessings and because of our faith in these teachings. We are safe. But when the time comes, we will seek free will and we will act through intuitive discrimination. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.